It's game time. The Kid Gowie. Ravens Nation. All we know is purple and black. And if you're not a Ravens fan, Welcome to Baltimore, Maryland, M&T Bank Stadium, where opponents don't make it out alive unless we bury them. Every team be afraid of them, especially all the quarterbacks, cause our defensive linemen won't hesitate to leave you sacked. Let's take a minute, go back to Super Bowl 35. Domination was an understatement up against the Giants. Numerous touchdowns, they put up numbers, and it didn't take a nutritionist to see they hunger. Only stat Kerry Collins could get was interceptions. He must have thought throwing to the D counted as receptions. The pass was legendary, but don't sleep on the present. Our secondary make quarterbacks avoid their direction. You tryna run the ball, you better hope your blockers work. You can juke, you can spin, but your destination's the turf. This is a man's game, being soft will get you hurt. Watch the defense force a fumble and the fans go berserk. 17 weeks, only one league out of 32 squads. No one's messing with our team. We all bleed black and purple, you can check our IVs. Raven Nation fly high, watch us all spread our wings. Put your game face on, embarrass the competition. You ain't talking about the greatest if the Ravens aren't mentioned. Screw every other team, cause those dudes are whack. In Baltimore, the only thing we know is purple and black. Go! They always win when the championship's on the line. So if you hoping that they failed, then you really wasting your time. Go and ask the 49ers, I'm pretty sure they remember when they made a comeback, but weren't declared the winners. 2 rings down, but you know they won't stop now. If the opposing D's caught slipping, you know exactly how that goes. That's another deep connection for 6 points in the end zone. The stadium goes wacko as Ravens put in work. Pittsburgh Steelers, that still curtain is looking more like a skirt. So tell me who they say is gonna beat them Bengals? Who used to be the Browns until they relocated? Ravens, they are one of the greatest. There's simply no denying it. To beat them, bringing your A game's a requirement. With the youth of the team, I bet they still be dominant, even after the greatest linebacker's retirement. 17 weeks, only one league out of 32 squads. No one's messing with our team. We all bleed black and purple, you can check our IVs. Raven Nation fly high, watch us all spread our wings. Put your game face on, embarrass the competition. You ain't talking about the greatest if the Ravens aren't mentioned. Screw every other team, cause those dudes are whack. In Baltimore, the only thing we know is purple and black. Go!
Welcome to another edition of szg Sports Live, coming to the and I know you should do those previews earlier in the week. The England Patriots are a weird team. I don't know about what you think, but I think the England Patriots are a very weird team. We're going to discuss some keys to the game. We are live, and in case anybody wants to, call to the show, there's a number to text. If not, that's okay. We'll get into this fairly quick. So obviously we come from that bad loss. And when I say bad, it's not that the loss against the Dolphins is bad. It's more that we should have won that game because we were up by 21 going to the fourth quarter. Simple, right? This is no sugarcoating that. Okay. Saying that, moving on. This week, New England is a team that is not flashy, but on defense specifically, they do a lot of good things, but nothing sticks out, if that makes sense. So Let's start with one key that is basically a key in every game is protect Lamar, right? That O line. Well, New England won't overwhelm you with pass rushers. Matt Judon, ex Raven, obviously has had a good year, has had a good career with the Patriots so far. Other than Judon, there's nobody really that is that guy, right? Judon is that guy, but other than him, there's nobody there like a TJ Watt or Miles Garrett or none of that, right? So first key is protect Lamar, but also make sure Judon doesn't go off. Obviously, Judon wants to play great against the former team. Understandable. Make sure Judon doesn't go off, right? Second key, look, the Patriots are fairly good against the pass. We're talking about Bill Belichick here. We think about they did to the Dolphins like what we did to the Dolphins for 3 quarters. Obviously, in the fourth quarter, we didn't do shit. But in this first 3 quarters against the Dolphins, we did good, right? We contained the Dolphins. Well, Bill Belichick was able to do that against the Dolphins for fourth quarters. So the passing game might be more difficult in the first two games because I do believe that there's not not a lot of flashy names, but they're just well coached and they're disciplined. Now, this doesn't mean we don't take the shots. If they provide it, we do. I actually think how the Patriots might play us instead of like the first two games has been load out the box against their team. I think the Patriots might just go with base, maybe six in the box, and then push the rest and see how Lamar hits. Well, if that is the case, right? If the New England Patriots do come with that base defense, 4-2, 3-5, right? Not 3-5, sorry. 3-2, 4-2, like no more than six people in this box, in the box. Running game is key between Lamar. We don't know if Jacob will play. I think he will, but assuming no, then Drake, Mike Davis, which cannot get any push, Justin Hill, which has no vision. So between those three and Lamar need to get yardage in their running game. So if they go back to more base, because Lamar has shown that he can beat these teams passing the ball, you're gonna bring people in. I'm just gonna dart you out. You need to run the ball, and then that will bring that defense in, and then you can attack on the air, right? So that is key. Running the ball and protecting Lamar on offense, those two key. Let's talk about a third key. Likely. Why likely? I'm assuming Bateman will command a lot of attention from the passing game. I'm assuming Mark Andrew will command a lot of attention for the passing game. And those two need to have a decent / solid game. So does Duvernay. But likely seems to be the guy that the defense forgets about. Seems to be the guy that the defense are saying basically, well, we'll let you try to catch the ball and make plays. And he has a drop seize, and it's concerning me. I haven't seen enough people talking about this. Short catches, no drop for likely. That is for me a key for this game. Obviously, no drops for anybody, but likely needs to show me a game where he has no drops. Think about the drop against Miami. That was critical looking back into it. We all thought it was going to be a holding. Well, they pick up the flag. That would have been 15 yards. Whatever, it would have first down, which even more, right? So likely is key in this game. Think he will have a good game. I'm talking probably like 4 catches, 60 yards is what I'm expecting by likely. If you think about Bateman, I'm thinking more of the Bateman will be like 3 catches, about 70 yards, 1 deep catch, no touchdown. Mark Andrews, again, bulk of the catches, probably like 7 catches, about 85 yards. Duvernay with about 4 catches, 50 something yards, 60 yards, right? So between all that, Lamar should have a really good game. Also, what Bill Belichick feasts, turnovers. Shorthand, no fumble, no interceptions. Those are all keys. I mean, those are all things that we can all agree, right? Protect Lamar. If they're gonna go more base and no overload that box, run the ball efficiently, right? That will bring the defense in there. And if you do that, just looking going forward now, if you're a defensive coordinator, because if you're right now looking at the Ravens, you're like, okay, well, I might have to put a spy on Lamar, which usually doesn't work, but the rest of that running game is trash. I just need to make sure he doesn't go off on the passing attack. Well, now New England, pretty good running against the run. Now, it's early in the season enough that the stats are hard to bring in, right? Because they play the Steelers. If you're talking about a team that looks worse than the Ravens on the running side, I think it's the Steelers. I mean, people have been talking to me how Najee is this great running back. I think Najee is a good running back, not great. And the Steelers O-line doesn't help him. And then Miami is a better running game. And in between those two, they have held their own. No, a lot. I don't think they have allowed any rushing touchdowns. The Patriots. I think the Ravens have allowed any either. But if you, as a Ravens, take a W and they show you can run the ball efficiently, especially if Jake is back. Now, if you go into Buffalo, Buffalo's gonna be like, well, how can I approach this game? Right? How do you approach this game if you're Buffalo? They can come in, and he's gonna beat you over the top. They can step back. The team's gonna beat you on the rushing side, right? And then you offensively are a more complete team because again, if the O line holds, the O line has done a fairly good job. Makari, shout out to him, playing fairly good left tackle. Powers is the weakest link on the left guard. I think on the right side, Moses, Seiler, and Linderbaum all playing really good football. So again, key to the game. Let's just review it on the offensive side only. Protect Lamar, establish the run. Likely key, no drops and no turnovers. Let's talk about the other side. And before I go, remember, New England's defense is very disciplined. Not flashy, but they're disciplined. Usually they don't make mistakes. So we cannot make mistakes because they will just capitalize on that. The guy Duggar, a guy that I was not super big on coming out of the draft, has played way better than what I thought he was gonna do coming out of the draft. He looks to be hurt. I'm not sure if he's gonna play. If he doesn't play, obviously that helps the Ravens. Okay, now let's flip it to the other side. Let's talk about. And by the way, shout out to you, Baltimore boy. Thank you for coming to the live stream. On defense, now this defense comes from a catastrophic fourth quarter. I mean, you can't sugarcoat this. One thing that concerned me, it's not necessarily a passing game. Yeah, the miscommunication pissed me off. Trust me. Last Sunday I was pissed off. But the thing that concerns me the most right now is that running defense. Mostert, that end of the third and early fourth, and when they need a key runs in that second half, you can see the runs being produced, the holes being open against this defense. And that concerned me because this D-line is the hardest team on defense, right? In the safeties. But New England's running backs are pretty good. Again, nothing flashy, but between both of them, they're averaging over 4 yards a clip. Again, let's caveat that. Well, you saw what Dolphins did against us, but they also were playing basically, we're daring you to throw. And the other team that they play is the Steelers. The Steelers for the last 3 or 4 years have been horrendous against the inside B gap run, and that's for those running backs from New England feasted against the Steelers. But against us, big importance key to this game, Michael Peters, Travis Jones if he plays, Calais Campbell, Matabuke, and Washington. D-line. Key to the game is D-line. If we choke the run and you make them one-dimensional, they're Mac Jones to throw. They're him. And if he beats you with the arm, then all the money you spend in the secondary is just blow it next year because nah. So choking the run is critical. Make Mac Jones one-dimensional. Second key, I mean, I would say sack Mac Jones, but New England Patriots have only allowed 2 sacks, right? Between Dolphins and the Steelers, and we are not a team that is sacking anybody right now. But I would like to see an appearance of Odafe Owe, right? Last week, I said it early in the week after the game. I said, like, where's Odafe Owe? Nowhere to be seen. What is happening with Odafe Owe? Against the Jets, he was sliding a lot. That game conditions weren't great. And Baltimore conditions were perfect and nowhere to be seen. He went against Amsterdam for a while, but he also went against the right tackle, right, which it was a backup right tackle, and nowhere to be seen. Didn't matter who he was against. So I'm not even gonna put a key to the game. If we get a pass rush and sack, that'll be great. But another key, other than stopping the run, goes to McDonald. Don't rush three. Even though we're not getting to the quarterback, every time we rush three, it was just disastrous. Every time we rush three and drop eight, there was a big completion, right? So obviously McDonald needs to some sort of pressure again, no sack because I'm not gonna lie to you. How can I say, oh yeah, let's sack him? Well, we ain't gonna sack him, so um, let's just at least bring some pressure to Mac Jones. Another key on the defense is communications, right? The biggest thing that you've seen the Ravens do so far this year, they got from a more man to a more zone coverage scheme, right? We all were like, what are the Ravens going to do? So we wink, they blitz a lot, we're blitzing less, but blitzing a lot, you play a lot of man. And well, we haven't been playing a lot of man. We do. I'm not saying zero, but we have been playing more zone, which leads to turnovers. Great. But you also need to communicate. And our guy Hamilton obviously has some problems in the communication. He forgot his coverage, where he was supposed to be, what was supposed to be his zone. So obviously he's gonna be hyper focused, hopefully, in this game. But also, look, I think Patrick Queen has had an average year so far. He doesn't plug the lanes for the lanes open on the running game, and on the defensive side, he's that's not his strong suit. He's okay, not great. He flashes sometimes. He covers somebody. You're like, ooh, great job, Patrick. And then another time he's like completely lost. So saying that on the secondary being disciplined, obviously communication. Look, their receivers are solid, but nobody like what we just faced against Miami. If anything, their receivers are very close to the Jets, right? Jacoby Myers, a decent receiver, right? Similar to Corey Davis. Parker, nothing great. Henry, overhyped tight end in my opinion is what Henry is. But those are guys that they will be effective. I'm missing somebody. It's Myers, it's Devontae Parker, which is not one of their great. Aguilar. Aguilar had a great game against the Steelers. But again, Aguilar's an up and down guy. We have the corners. And even if Marlowe doesn't play, Stevens on the other side, with Peters, this should be good. Armour Davis to bring breathers. I want to see Pepe on that slot, and then the safeties need to. I mean, Marcus Williams has had a strong game, a strong year so far. He needs to keep being like that. He needs to keep being sharp. Okay, so key communication, defensive. Don't allow a lot of rushing yards and pressure. Again, ideally sack, but who we're kidding? They're gonna sack. They're Raiders are gonna have 0 seconds against the game. If they have any, it might be on a blitz, but nothing pressuring with 5. So those three are my main keys against the offense. The offense of the Patriots are not explosive. Mac Jones has not had a great year, but also Bill Belichick. That's why he tries to put Mac Jones in good situations, running the ball, and that leads to comfortable, easier completions. That's why if you stop that run, if you make sure that you're not allowed this running game to explode, to exceed, to be averaging 4.5 yards per carry, if you limit it to 3 or sub 3, then you win comfortably. Now, if this running game for the Patriots are 4.5, not so bad or anything can happen. I think that is, if you say, what is your main key? But other than blown coverage, right, because of miscommunication, let's assume that gets fixed. Against the Patriots specifically, taking the running game and saying, nah, you're not going to run against me. And allowing only 3.2 or less per carry. If you're in that, you win the game. Okay? But saying that, I want to know, what is your score prediction? Let me know Let me know what you think. What is your score prediction? Where I'm leaning in this game is 24-13 Ravens. We win by 11. We do hold the running game to sub 3.5, and that allows us to win comfortably. Mac Jones with an average game, about 200 yards, a touchdown, a pick. And yeah, I think the Ravens, if they play their game, they should win this game. So tomorrow after the game, about an hour after the game, about 4:30, I'm coming with a live stream. Hopefully in a victory Sunday. Hopefully you're all excited. And yeah, guys, let's get this dub. Let's do it.